NDTV Profit exclusive. Hello and welcome. You're watching The Reporter. I'm Pallavi Nahata. Let's go to the top story of today evening. Benchmark indices fell sharply from the day's high to close lower for the second straight session. Meanwhile, broader markets continued to outperform the benchmarks and closed higher for the seventh straight session. Neeraj Shah joins us with a wrap of the day's market action. Neeraj?
Well, the markets had a decent outing, you would have to say, today, but for what happened in the last half an hour. So when you look at this, it'll look okay. When you look at the mid-cap index, for example, it'll look okay, about 0.5% higher. So that looks okay. Small caps look okay as well. But the banks is where the problem is, because that will be the first sign of red on the screen. And if you just look at what the Bank Nifty did, or HDFC Bank did to the markets intraday, you will see what I'm talking about. This is the Nifty Bank, and look at how sharp a crash it had in the last half an hour of trade. This was what spoiled the peace for the markets at large today. Now, the advanced decline ratio might also have corrected a little bit, but let's get the heat map up on the screen. Okay, the advanced decline ratio, and thank you for pulling that out, but look at this contraction that happened. Again, the last half an hour is when this change happened. Let's pull up the heat map on the screen. More losers than gainers, and the gaining part was held aloft by a Nestle and some IT names like Tech Mahindra as well as HCL Tech. Adani Port and Adani Enterprises were up 3% at a point of time. The last half an hour they came off, but ahead of Adani Port's board meet tomorrow, I think these stocks did okay for themselves. What lost out? The principal culprit was HDFC Bank, down about 1%. It's a heavyweight, and it really pulled that indexes down in the last 30 minutes of trade. But autos sulked in trade. There was Eicher Motors, Mahindra and Mahindra, Bajaj Auto amongst the auto heavyweights, which were soft for a better part of the trading day today. The broader end of the spectrum was also punctuated by gains to specific PSU names in particular, but in general rather. But a lot of other names also came up in conversation today, particularly from the power space as well. So the mid-cap and the small-cap indices had a good day of trade. I think tomorrow's trade and what we do in the first half is very, very important. If we form a lower low than today's low, then that could open a bit of a wall of worry in the first week of the new calendar.
Now, moving on to more stock-specific action, Vodafone Idea shares hit 15% upper circuit to touch a 4-year high. Smriti Chaudhary joins us to tell us what's driving this stock. Smriti?
Good afternoon, Pallavi. You're right. The stock closed about 6% higher today, and that is probably on the back of an expectation of receiving a funding. Now, there's no announcement from the company as such at this juncture, but it seems like a hope rally has kind of taken. So this started off a couple of months ago, this hope rally, that the hope that the company will get funding. So that's probably one of the reasons why the stock has been rallying. The second reason is, of course, the benefit of a potential tariff hike. Now, in 2024, the telecom sector is expected to hike tariffs, and the biggest beneficiary or the company that needs it the most is Vodafone Idea. So that is probably one of the potential reasons why the stock has been on the uptrend. And the third being the government ownership. Now, this is an important one because the government has time and again said that it will not let a duopoly, a situation of a duopoly being created in the telecom sector. So that is kind of a safety net that the investors or the market has seemed to have taken the hint that the government will not let the company die. So that's mainly the 3-4 reasons why the stock has been on an uptrend.
Now, Smriti, the government is the biggest shareholder in the company with a 33% stake. So can you elaborate on what to make of this at this juncture, considering there's been a substantial rise in share prices since the government came in?
Right. So the government is the biggest shareholder with 33% stake in the company. Now, it's important to note that the government bought this stake through Deepam. That means at some point the government will divest stake. So that is something that the market may be looking forward to. And if you look at the notional profit that the government has made, the government bought the stock at 10 rupees per share, and the stock price has climbed up to 17 now. So there's 70% notional profit. And if you look at it in terms of numbers, the government has a notional profit of north of 11,000 crores. So that's a considerable amount of profit that the government is now sitting on.
All right, there's a little bit more we have on that front. We have Ashwini's Vodafone Byte. There you go.
इतना क्लियर है कि आज टेलीकॉम सेक्टर में जो अनसर्टेनिटीज़ थी, एजीआर की डेफिनेशन क्या है, स्पेक्ट्रम के यूसेज में क्या होना चाहिए, करीब 99% अनसर्टेनिटीज़ ख़त्म हो चुकी है. आज इन्वेस्टर्स टेलीकॉम सेक्टर की तरफ एक नए नज़रिए से देख रहे हैं. इस टेलीकॉम एक्ट के बाद में जो रही सही अनसर्टेनिटीज़ थी वो भी ख़त्म हो गई है.
Sir, but to come back to the point of Vodafone idea.
देखो वो उनके शेयर उनके मैनेजमेंट से पूछो.
Let me ask the question.
It's a listed company. I don't want to comment on it.
So just the simple point, just if I may, the government has stepped in and saved this company.
We have done whatever is supposed to be done. I don't want to comment on companies which are listed. सबके शेयर मार्केट के में prices होते हैं. I don't want to comment on any such. Whether it's a railway company or telecom company or electronics company, anything. I just don't want to comment on any listed company.
Okay. No, I want to understand because there are concerns about a duopoly forming in the country.
अब नहीं concerns.
Okay.
अभी तो telecom sector is looking like a fresh investment cycle has already started in telecom sector.
Well, Ashwini Vaishnav believes that the telecom sector is not a duopoly and fresh investments have already begun in that space. Moving on, food delivery platforms ended 2023 on a positive note. Companies like Zomato and Swiggy witnessed a massive surge in orders. We have Sesha joining us with a recap of 2023 for these food delivery companies and especially on what the last day of the year was like for them. Hi, Sesha.
Hi, Pallavi. Thanks for that. So, yeah, typically there is a surge in orders during festivals, sporting events, and other occasions, when people gather to celebrate together. But New Year's Eve saw companies such as Swiggy, Zomato, and their instant delivery grocery business hit record order volumes. If we follow the posts that the CEOs of these companies have shared on X, Zomato CEO Dipinder Goyal said that the platform has delivered almost as many as orders on New Year's Eve as it did in the previous 6 years combined, that is between 2015 and 2020. Interestingly, consumers have also tipped over rupees 97 lakh to the delivery partners. So that's really very interesting. Zomato-owned Blinkit has already crossed the previous year record in terms of the total number of orders by 5:15 in the evening itself. The trend was similar across rivals Swiggy and Swiggy Instamart, of course, with both the platforms breaking past records in terms of the total order volumes. Instamart has surpassed the previous high during the World Cup finals by 1.6 times. India's first unicorn of last year, Zepto, has also seen a definite surge in orders. Well, that all pretty much sums up that the consumer internet firms really ended 2023 on a high.
Well, thanks a lot for that, Sesha. That was indeed interesting. Moving on, currency traders in India's foreign exchange market are choosing exotic option trades in the dollar-rupee pair amid the central bank's aggressive intervention to keep the rupee stable. We have Mimansa who joins us to tell us more about this. Mimansa, what's the effect, what's happening and what's the effect of all of this on the rupee? How's it expected to play out?
Yeah, so a stable rupee for past 4 months has led currency traders to look for opportunity, a better lucrative opportunity to trade. So they have resorted to exotic option trades. Now, this is a riskier bet as to because exotic options, they do not guarantee a profit, although they provide flexibility. So this shift in trading strategy has come from the fact that RBI has been aggressive in its intervention into FX market, and they have deployed their arsenal through all platforms, be it spot, futures, or forwards market. So now market participants believe that ultra low volatility or too stable rupee is also building up risks in the market, because they have because a lot of bets in the exotic options is going to lead to a number of problems, and they are going to result in hefty losses for traders, so to speak, because if the currency depreciates too much, in case the crude oil prices if crude oil prices rise due to geopolitical tensions and attacks in the Red Sea, then traders are going to incur losses. So while central bank has time and again said that they intervene in the currency market to smoothen out the volatility in the USD INR pair, market participants believe that they're building up their FX reserves, and they optically want to arrive at a decent number, because that is the first line of defense in case of any external shock. So the FX reserves as of December 2022 stand at $620.44 billion. So the fact that Indian rupee is overvalued against US dollar even among its Asian peers, it makes room for RBI to continue mopping up dollar inflows as and when they come, and going ahead in 2024.
Thanks a lot for that, Mimamsa. Now let's go to freelance writer Greg R. Hill on the Japan earthquake and the tsunami. Greg, what can you tell us about the situation on ground at the moment? How's it working out?
I'm calling from you with information about the Ishikawa earthquake in Japan. It's looking pretty serious, I have to say. There's reports of tsunamis incoming, damaged roads, collapsed buildings. People are also trapped under rubble, so it's looking very serious at the moment. But as this is a developing situation, things are likely to change. So there's no reported damage yet as to nuclear reactors in the area, but there is a lot of damage to buildings. So the situation is developing as we speak.
All right, Greg, going ahead, what's the outlook looking like? What's the latest coming in from the Japanese government? The Japanese government had earlier in the day asked residents at multiple locations to relocate or to move to, move a little bit to avoid the threat from the tsunami. So what's happening on that front? Is the situation, is it still a wait and watch situation out there, and what's the Japanese government saying at the moment?
It's not a wait and watch situation right now. It's very serious, and the Japanese government are urging people to evacuate immediately. Anyone in the vicinity of Ishikawa Prefecture are being urged to seek higher ground immediately. The government are also mobilizing the Japanese self-defense force to mobilize a rescue to begin rescuing people in the area. So it's very much all systems go at the moment. The governor of Ishikawa Prefecture is also trapped in Tokyo at the moment. The Shinkansen bullet trains operating and flights to Ishikawa are not operating either. So even the governor of Ishikawa cannot reach affected areas right now. So the government are mobilizing people very quickly to rescue. But at the moment, people are urged, residents of the area are urged to escape. That's how serious the situation is right now.
Okay. Thanks a lot for that, Greg. So it continues, Japan continues to be on a wait and watch mode after a 7.4 magnitude earthquake and tsunami waves having hit the island country post that. We'll continue to bring the latest on that. We'll be back after a short break. Stay tuned. Welcome back. You're watching The Reporter on NDTV Profit. Now, the latest December auto sales numbers suggest strong momentum in the SUV sales has continued. Tractor sales, meanwhile, have fallen more than was being anticipated. My colleague Vinay joins us to add more on the latest numbers. Vinay, what's happening? What do the December auto sales numbers suggest?
Hi. So, since the last we talked, Maruti Suzuki has also come out with its data, and it has said that 6% sales are down in domestic market. It's saying that because Tata Motors has also come out with its numbers, it also shows that the company's passenger vehicle sales grew in single digits, which was 8%. So it is showing a common trend among passenger vehicle makers that the sales have risen in the single digits, barring M&M, which has risen 24% in the utility vehicle category. In the two-wheeler pack, only Bajaj Auto has come out with its numbers, and it says that 15% of two-wheeler sales have risen because of the strong show in the domestic market. And rest of the two-wheeler makers are yet to come out with their numbers. But in the tractor space, we have seen that the sales have fallen more than anticipated because Escort has said that it was because of delayed harvesting, and it also delayed the sowing for the next stage of farming. In the commercial vehicle segment, we have seen only Tata Motors and Eicher come out with its numbers. So Eicher shows that 11% of sales have risen, and in Tata Motors, we have seen that only 1% of increase in sales, and it shows because only heavy and medium duty vehicles are contributing to the overall sales, and the smaller vehicles are still lagging behind, and that is overall dragging the numbers.
Thanks a lot for that, Vinay. Now, after NASA, India has become the second country to launch a mission to study black holes. ISRO's maiden X-ray polarimeter satellite was launched by the Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle in its C-58 mission. The launch vehicle placed the X-ray polarimeter satellite, or the XPOSat, into a 650-kilometer Earth orbit after lifting off at its prefix time of 9:10 a.m. from the first launch pad in Sriharikota. Now, according to ISRO, the XPOSat, X-ray polarimeter satellite that is the organization's first dedicated scientific satellite to research space-based polarization measurements of X-ray emissions from celestial sources. Moving on, in an exclusive interview to NDTV Profit, Railway Minister Ashwini Vaishnav spoke about the progress of the bullet train project and how it will aid the economy. Listen in.
तो अपने जो पहला ये सेक्शन बना है, मुंबई, ठाणे, वापी, सूरत, बड़ौदा, आनंद और अहमदाबाद, ये जो 8 इकोनॉमीज़ हैं, ये 8 की 8 इकोनॉमी सिंगल इकोनॉमी बन जाएगी. कैसे? मान लो कोई डिज़ाइनर है, टेक्सटाइल फैशन डिज़ाइनर है, कोई आनंद में रहती है, उसको अपना प्रेजेंटेशन करना मुंबई में, 1-1.5 घंटे के गैप में गई, प्रेजेंटेशन किया, वापस आ गए शाम को. करेक्ट? दैट्स द बिग चेंज विच हैपन्स इन केस ऑफ हाई स्पीड रेल. इसलिए इस फर्स्ट एक्सपीरियंस के बाद में वी शुड डेफिनेटली look at more projects.
So, two-part question. When will we have the first experience in India? And
2026.
2026
का टारगेट है. 15 अगस्त 2026 तक पहला सेक्शन.
We are on track.
सूरत से बिलीमोरा के बीच में खुलना चाहिए. We are on track.
Now moving on to NDTV Profit's exclusive stories. SBI, the State Bank of India, aims to cut distractions for their staff before the fiscal year comes to an end. SBI has suspended business conclaves, seminars and felicitation programs. Any deviation from this suspension will require prior approval. Now, as mentioned earlier, the move aims to reduce distractions for the staff before the financial year ends and for the staff to focus on core business as a key driver for growth. That's all we have on the show for now. Stay tuned. We'll be right back at the same time tomorrow.